Hey everybody, welcome to the NFT show. In today's episode, we're going to discuss the breaking news announced this morning that Cool Cats has raised additional funding from none other than Animoca Brands, a big name in the NFT and Web3 space. We're also discussing the cool off of Renga and the increase in volume that we're seeing in the NFT market. We'll see if Nick is cynical, if Nick is upbeat. I can't wait to get Nick's take on the volume. As always, nothing in this video is financial advice. We are not financial advisors. The NFT space is incredibly risky. So always do your own research. And if you enjoy the content, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, share the video with your friends. Gentlemen, is it the start of an NFT bull run? Is that what's happening? Or is this a trap?
Oh, great question, dude. Great question. I mean, I think that a decent amount of the bottoming out has happened.
Okay.
But I'm not nearly ready to call it an actual run. Is my camera delayed?
Maybe a little bit, but we can hear you. And it's an audio podcast, so it's cool.
Great. Cool.
And that's it.
Okay. Well, there's the take. Why are we looking at our analytics?
It was an accident, Nick.
I'm just saying that, like, I'm not ready to be like, because what would you consider a bull run from here? I would consider it like we get up to 20, 30 million volume, right? Like at least like a doubling.
Yeah.
At least like
feels like a pipe dream. I don't know if I'm out to lunch on that, but that feels like a pipe dream.
The thing I was looking at though today was whether or not like that data is now biased as we shift people off of OpenSea, which has been happening. So we need to get better data on that, because right now, if you go to Dune Analytics, it actually shows us at like $20 million a day.
With all of the stuff together.
Just on ETH. So that didn't even include Solana. That said, if you go to so it depends on like where you go to check this data, that you end up getting different information. Crypto Slam for
Dap Radar. I use Dap Radar.
Yep. So that's one. Crypto Slam says that you got 9 million on ETH, which is not good. But it's weird when you go to when you go to Dune and you type in NFT Market, basically, there's one that shows the overall market overview, and what it shows from yesterday, for example, it is $16 million or $17 million. So that's including OpenSea, NFTX, Looks Rare, Super Rare, Foundation, Rareable,
Do you want to share that?
Labs. Yeah.
This is a great point that Nick's bringing up, though, is like we got to aggregate everything.
Yeah, we do have to aggregate everything. I completely agree with that. But I also like don't fully trust X2Y2's numbers.
Mm-hmm. I think that a statistic came out that wash trading is present there.
Yeah. So like I almost would put their numbers at like Looks Rare numbers, or maybe like 2x that potentially. So like based on my data on Dap Radar, even if you add the other stuff, you're like it's like 13, 14 million instead of like 11. But you're 100% right, Nick. Like we should be looking at the aggregated stuff.
Where are you seeing the
scroll up. You can hit marketplaces, blue button, down a little bit, right there. Yeah.
Okay, so this is showing 11 million on there, which is that's including ETH, Polygon, and Solana, Magic Eden. Okay, so we're at 14 million.
Yeah, and you can hit just
17
ETH up there if you just wanted ETH, But I like this because it shows me like all the networks, right? So like Immutable X and
this then does come up with the number approximately close to 20 million if you add those up. So that's the sort of thing that all this data, depending on where you look, just comes up with different information. Like this one just shows 11 million. This one shows more like 17 million. This one,
I guess regardless of whether you're looking at it like just on OpenSea or aggregated, for me, like a proper bull run is we 2x the volume. So that would be like 20 million just on OpenSea. So maybe that's like 30 million all around. I feel like that would be a proper bull run. The tricky thing for me, right, is that like, okay, what are the catalysts to a proper NFT bull run, right? It has to be a risk on macro environment, right?
Yep. Has to be. For a proper one, you disagree, Nick?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like every bull run that we're talking about is like temporary risk on. The reality, Well, it depends on what you consider proper. If you're looking back to like May, January, February, March, April time of thing, then yeah, that's definitively the case. We need, in order to get back to that, we need risk, full blown macro risk on, and there's no way that we get there in the near future. It's just not happening.
I guess my point on that is that I think that if like risk is on and that's what's going to get NFT volume to increase, I do think that some people may just want to sit in ETH then and be like, okay, ETH's at 1,300. I'm going to ride this up to 2,500 versus potentially losing that ETH value NFT trading. So like my thing is like almost like a 1-2. Like I would like to see ETH get above 2,000 and then like find a range above 2,000. And then I think NFTs have like a lights out bull run, right? It's going to be like led by the coins, like coins first, then NFT get the proper bull run. Having said that, I mean, there's people every month making a crap ton of money trading NFTs. I mean, there's opportunities every day, even in this bear.
It's amazing. It really is amazing on that front. And that also just even makes you more like enamored with the idea of a proper bull run. Because if things are going as well as they are now, imagine another proper bull run.
Exactly. And all the skills that these people are like building now in this like choppy bear market is going to like pay off in dividends in a bull market when like they know like not to buy into FOMO. They know when to buy something, right? They know when to sell something, right? Like, because in a bull run, it's pretty much just liquidity sloshing around way faster. So you have faster, you know, ins and out, faster 2Xs, 3Xs. Nice to see this Clone X volume run, but it seems to be a run up on like really low volume just across the board.
Well, yeah. What so what's the bottom going to be for Renga? 0, or are we thinking like 0.25?
It could be a gnarly pullback.
Yeah, really good. I mean, it pulled back from 1.9 to 0.8. So that's like bigger than a 50% drawdown the last time it pulled back.
So maybe we buy in, we ape in at 1.5, go real big.
You want to ape in Renga now?
The only tricky thing is basically after this, like, I'd say like after this first run up or like something like that, then it like you sort of kind of think that there needs to be some sort of team catalyst maybe to take it to the next level. So then, you know, you can bet on the art till 3 ETH, right? Then you start betting on the team, right? Is that a good way to kind of maybe say it?
You'd ideally like to just, for all this shit, just be able to bet on the art forever. That would be the ideal for sure.
Yeah.
But
I actually think there will be good projects out there that say like, this is all we're doing. It's like not much, and they'll do like phenomenally well because like that's the expectation.
I mean, you know, you so what's this mice city we're looking at here, Nick? You're interested in the mice?
Well, I got an alert on it. I got an alert about it. And then that while our show was going this morning, as we were discussing, what was the other project that you mentioned here?
Gangster All Stars.
Yeah, and then I saw Gangsta Mice City being minted by people. And so, and now I see that it's trending. So it looks like a nice 3X for some of these individuals.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great trade. I definitely put this in the terrible art category.
Terrible.
Click on the team, please. I gotta see the great team.
The website's cool though.
It's Skanky, FaZe,
Like
Lumi,
FaZe, I don't know.
The usual suspects.
Dark Mirth.
Yep.
Dark. Well, I don't know. Oh, this is a real name. Boban Krizmanovic.
They have a bunch of fake names and some guy named Boban.
Marco Kovacevic. Taufan.
Antoine is comes from banking and finance. Probably selling those scammy options.
We'll see if this is something to talk about in 4 weeks. Kind of unlikely.
I do like the
think this will
website.
be...
I'm a big website guy, so
I don't think this will be. I'm a big website guy. When I'm doing analysis here, I'm a huge website guy.
They get a check in that box for sure.
Oh, what is this? Now we're seeing the various areas. Cartel District 18, Cyberpunk. So this is like Risk, that game Risk back in the day.
They got themselves an agency working on this stuff, Nick.
What was that one project we fed? It was like Metropolis. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
What was that called? Was it Metro something?
Metropolis, I think.
No.
No?
Metro World? No, because we
Maybe.
just had a sponsor called Metropolis World. There was like, but I know what you're talking about. The thing that pumped.
Metroverse?
Metroverse.
There we go.
It's at 0.07. Oh my God.
Oh, who's the idiot now? Everyone was trashing on us for missing that.
Oh my God. 25,000 Ether volume. Look at the chart. So it's a rug. So it's just a flat out rug. So look at the chart. Oh my God. So
I mean,
the pump is right there with those high volume days.
I don't think
No, it was earlier than that.
No,
Yeah.
2 ETH, 2.5 ETH.
2.5 ETH to 0.07.
That
Dead.
was Pico top of the market. May 1st, it hit Pico top. So nice little ride from one
March
ETH,
1st.
Great trading thing. Oh, it was March 1st.
Properties was another one that was a classic.
Oh my God, dude.
What happened to properties? 0.04.
Rug.
Like,
Like
they told me that they were waiting on like Sandbox's marketplace to go live for them to like ship something. I was just like, I'm fucked.
Did you lose money on it?
Yeah, dude. Like probably like 3-4 ETH.
What happened to the other? What's the other? What are the apartments? What was that one?
World Wide Web land.
That one's legit, right?
I think so. I mean, you fucking hope one of these damn things is legit. 0.36.
0.36.
But at least see that. At least that like
Still above
signals. Yeah, that signals some
3x
legitimacy.
of mint in ETH still.
Yeah, signals some legitimacy.
These guys are actually like building and doing stuff. It's just like the marketplace, absurd valuations on like a browser, an apartment in like a browser-based game. You know what I mean? Like we definitely got a little ahead of ourselves there, selling large apartments for 7 ETH.
I mean, dude.
I mean, those were fun. I think I sold all of my.
You had these? Properties.
Properties. I made money, and I also made money on the other one, World Wide Web lands. Those apartments still a little pump, or at least I broke even on it. I think.
You know,
I
what
made
used
money
to
on
say?
both those too. Go ahead.
I missed one and lost. No, I made money on World Wide Web land. I lost my shirt on properties. I had this saying back in like June, in the beginning of the NFT bull run. I was like, #1 rule of a bull market: never fall in love. That's when you miss out on money, is when you fall in love with the project, you start really believing in the potential of it, right? And then you become what's called a diamond hander. That generally doesn't work out in this market.
It works out if you buy one of the very few things that's ultra legit, but you can literally count those on 10 fingers.
1 in 1,000, right? You're hitting that 1 in 1,000 times if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So you could have bought this Cool Cats yesterday at 2.5, and it's gone up to 2.9.
This gangster mice concept actually looks kind of cool from the game standpoint. So
from their announcement.
No, it just looks like it's like I played this game like Drug Wars or something like that way back in the day.
But
you know, so like basically,
but are you talking about from the Cool Cats announcement?
Oh no, I'm talking about Gangsta My City.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I switched topics.
That world that world view that you had popped up, like they say, like attacker and defender, right? So like it's gonna be like a wolf game kind of thing, right? But like kind of like mafia elements. So like I see MMO real time strategy.
I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. There's here's the thing. When Facebook's platform launched, there was a whole ecosystem called social gaming. Social gaming is now the standard of like mobile app games, pretty much is where we're at today. But at that point in time, there were a bunch of people selling their businesses for a lot of money. One guy I know in particular had this huge house in San Francisco that he bought after selling his like Mob Wars or Mafia Wars. There were two of them for like 30, 40, 50 million dollars basically, which was a Facebook game, which is
Renga.
Yep, and it's the equivalent of I'm not going to name names here, but it's the equivalent of essentially like BBS games back in the day. Like for those that aren't old enough, bulletin board system was a dial-up site that you'd connect to.
I used to play forum games. There was like these guys built it on a forum. It was like a drug game. I've been trying to find it for like weeks now.
Have you watched Halt and Catch Fire?
No.
You have to watch this show, Halt and Catch Fire. Absolutely one of the best shows ever. So there's movies. You got Hackers, the TV, the movie. Great movie, not as insightful. Halt and Catch Fire was like pretty damn accurate, representing sort of this moment in time where you had these creatives building these BBS systems and these engineers building it out. It's just a good show. Highly recommend it. Check it out, Halt and Catch Fire. But the bottom line is those games, like if you were building BBS games back in the day, like your only choice was to sell to a bigger gaming system like Atari or someone like that who is like, wow, great like game that you build here. We want to continue developing and expanding it. That's basically the only path that you have. But a lot of the dynamics that exist here are so low level. And it just, to me, feels like you can't, it's difficult to sustain in a world where people have unlimited options. You have to figure out like, right now, all the people buying these NFTs have no interest in playing the game. And that's the biggest hurdle that people have.
And I also look at like there's a few games that I've played for like decades, like Counter-Strike Go. I haven't touched World of Warcraft in 10 years because it would ruin my life. That's how addicted I was to that game. But like there's games that like, like Dota, right? Like I've played that. Like I don't play much anymore, but like they last forever, right? But like the vast majority of games, like most people play them for like 2 or 3 months. So that's going to be like the tricky thing with like NFTs. You know what I mean? As you said, there's so many options. People get bored in 2 or 3 months. You gotta play that right. But yeah, let's talk about Cool Cats. Enough about Gangsta My City.
Cool
big
Cats.
news by Cool Cats, man. Huge news.
You want to go back to controlling SP, or you want me to?
You're doing a great job. I mean, if you want, I can switch it. You're doing a great job.
It's all good.
Man.
I mean, dude, it is a lot of work on my right hand to move the mouse around, but we got it. This is the Cool Cats collection.
It's a good-looking collection. Tried and true.
Were there not some pictures that they tweeted out? I feel like there were some icons that they included in the announcement, which looked kind of interesting. 1 second. So in this announcement, I saw some pictures. Maybe I'm completely missing them here, where it showed some of the imagery.
Right there?
What's that?
Up.
Where?
Down. That right there? That?
No. It was like a sequence of things. It was included in this press release. Wherever it is, I saw a bunch of pictures of them, and it kind of gave like a direction of where they were headed. And so, yeah, wherever it is, I'll end up finding it. But it's clear that they have some broader vision with this. We throw a lot of shade around, I think, towards, at least I do, in terms of some of these brands, including Cool Cats. Cool Cats, I mean, I haven't thrown that much shade. The
I was going to say, you haven't thrown really any shade at Cool Cats.
The only thing I did was have an incorrect news story about them months ago, which led to a temporary pump and a few people losing some money. But
they lost it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, they were aping into like literally blindly without even listening to the show and then DMing me being like, yo, why was this information wrong? And I'm like, dude, if you listen to the beginning of the show, I explicitly state, I don't know how accurate this is.
You did make the title breaking.
Okay, so that title, it's neither here nor there. So the bottom line is, like, they have some great IP. I don't know. One of the things that I wonder about is how these stand the test of time when we look how these age, and which designs are going to age well. I even think about, like, I look at Bored Apes today.
Age like a bottled fart. That's what I will tell you.
Do you think all NFTs fall into that category, or like?
I think you just got to look at the web, right? Like the .com boom, and then like what ended up really making the long-term money. Like, like the the first cycle, I think, rarely hits all the home runs. You know, like they'll be the Amazon, right? So like Bored Ape could be like the Amazon, right? But then there's like going to be like 90 other companies like Netscape that kind of just fade into obscurity.
Right, but we're talking about maybe 20 to 30 total collections, total businesses being successful out of tens of thousands.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. So I think that the question Nick is asking is like, so like to me,
well, the question I was asking was specifically about the art. I go back and look at these NFTs now, like some of them, including even this, and I understand the argument of being like, I get it. You can look at a lot of them and it's easy to dismiss because ultimately the design is not the deciding factor for these businesses. Like the character doesn't matter. Like I think of like Lacoste, it's not the alligator that made that business.
Right. Oh no, exactly.
Yeah.
But the Cool Cats has really good IP. So that's not a bad thing. It's not bad to have really good IP.
Yeah.
And number two, like they're one of the legitimate businesses. You know, they're one of those. If you're going to name 20 to 25 legitimate businesses, like robust businesses in Web3, they're one of them. And now they took funding from Animoca Brands. Just pretty much like one of the best things that you can do. Like so there's a few collections that are also from legitimate creators that I think haven't taken funding yet or have done limited funding. And I think the best thing that they could do would be to align with like an Animoca Brands type of entity and take a big round of funding. And then most importantly, like be smart with the funding. Don't light it on fire. Like,
well, I think the wording is interesting because it says a strategic investment. And so my gut would be like, this is more like Animoca being like, we're going to build you a game and we're going to take like half of it.
Here's something though that I think is interesting is the focus on what they're stating as their vision. Animoca Brands has been consistently working to deliver true digital ownership of users' virtual assets and to advance the open metaverse. Now, when I think open metaverse, I think Otherside. Yep. I think of that's what they're trying to pitch. Yep. And Animoca is a major investor in there. I'm just wondering, like, to me, it only feels like essentially what's happening is they're saying, what are all the key assets that we have? We got Cool Cats. Not a lot of conversations about World of Women currently. That's not one of the ones that pop up. But I think of those icons that were sitting in the helicopter from when Yuga Labs was sort of teasing out this world.
Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, 10KTF, Cool Cats was present, World of Women was present.
And then in our chat, Pedro said, any relations or ties with the new CEO? Yes, very much so. So they literally say in the article, this is the culmination of a long-standing relationship between Ken Cron, executive chairman of Cool Cats Group, and Yat CEO, who is the executive chairman of Animoca Brand.
Ken Cron and Yatsu.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, finish your thought though.
Like
after
3 arrows.
No, I think that's it. I mean, it's
a good move for Cool Cats. It's a really, really, really good move for Cool Cats.
The vast majority of profile pic companies, if they want to go into gaming, they need to do stuff like this, and they need to do stuff like what Yuga Labs is doing, where they're like offloading a lot of that, because like building games is really fucking hard, and like you want people in your pocket that know what they're doing, and it makes your business just a lot easier to run if you can just offload all of that stress and pressure and keep your core team like focusing on your like core business model. Although, Cool Cats with the whole Milk and like the marketplace thing, they've definitely been showing like an interest in like being a gaming brand. So, maybe this is a bigger part of their overall roadmap, but I agree with you. It's a good move, Pio.
Kix, I have a question. Who made Steam?
Gabe Newell.
Steamy George.
He was one of Gabe Newell. He was actually one of the early guys at Microsoft. So he made like $1 billion off of Microsoft, and then he went and built Steam.
And was he affiliated with any like video game before that?
I don't think so. I think he just had a shit ton of money and liked gaming. So enough money kind of like solves any problem. But like Steam is notorious for like they really take their time on building things. They never really like rush to build things because they're just so well capitalized. But I think they're one of the most profitable companies per employee or something like that.
So I have a question. Best case scenario. So everyone in the whole NFT space loves to shit on Otherdeed. Everybody loves to say that it's going to fail. It's going to be horrible.
Is that really the conversation that's going on? But
no. Everybody in the NFT space loves dumping on Otherdeeds, aside from the mega Otherdeeds bulls who everybody hates. I own
7 and I shit on them all the time.
There you go. So there you go. Perfect. I'm the only guy on this show right now that doesn't have any Otherdeed. I have had it, but I don't have it now. Anyway, what I was going to say is
money. I feel bad for.
Best case scenario for Otherdeed Kix, is it that it's a platform that an entity like Cool Cats can then build their world on? And that's so Animoca brands, like they're not going to go and make a competitor to Otherdeed. Wouldn't, or I guess it's Otherside is what we would call it. Wouldn't they be building in Otherside and have their own unique platform within a platform? Is that's incorrect?
That's what I'm saying.
Yep. So that's exactly what it is. And then Otherside is like Steam, but also its own playable game.
It's this. Facebook did the exact same thing. There was Zynga got built on top of Facebook, and they even set up an investment fund to invest in some of the projects. The FB fund and a lot of apps came out of that. The bottom line is, like, I just see them as, and then there was a venture fund that came in and said, we're going to launch a Facebook fund itself where we're going to invest in this space. Then there became the iPhone fund, which was the same thing. There'll end up being an investment fund that invests alongside this and invests capital. Essentially, the more capital that comes in and you can pump that up, the more likely that the whole ecosystem
works,
can actually materialize. So you need like Cool Cats actively developing something that's going to be interoperable inside of this Otherdeed environment.
You have more armies driving everything forward.
Yeah, you need multiple people. 10K TF building some ecosystem within Otherdeed. You have maybe they go fund an events team that goes inside. Now here's the biggest thing. The real question is, I mean, this is a big bet in the sense that like you got A16Z putting in hundreds of millions of dollars. Basically, let's call it like $1 or $2 billion that's being invested into this sort of ecosystem.
Yeah.
I think that's basically like the question is could that all go to zero? And I don't know that zero makes sense, but I think that we could see like ultimately they're all kind of supporting each other with these ginormous visions. I would almost at this point be skeptical of anyone competing against what's materializing as kind of a Borg within this ecosystem. Like you want to go build on top of that rather than go build somewhere else, and they'll make a compelling reason for you to do that. Basically,
I mean, one of the interesting things about Animoca is in their like bio, they actually don't even mention Bored Ape, Yuga Labs, or Otherside, but they do mention Sandbox. I think it's important to call out that there are significant investors in Sandbox as well. But yeah, Pia, what you're saying, like strategically, is 100% like what they're trying to build. I think the tricky thing is like, doesn't Otherdeeds kind of feel like a specific type of like visual aesthetic, right? Like Cool Cats, like plop a Cool Cat on an Otherdeed plot, like.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's like that. I think Otherside's bigger than that, and they haven't announced this, right? But you see this Coda logo and everything. I feel like they're building something bigger than just Bored Ape Yacht Club, and you already got 10 KTF in the mix. So look, this is the
top. It's kind of murky because it's like improbable building it more than Otherdeeds or Yuga Labs. Like that's what's Improbable is building. And then once again, they have like different vision and stuff like that.
Exactly. So look at the top collections. This is top collections of all time. Okay. CryptoPunks, that's owned by Yuga Labs. Bored Ape Yacht Club is Yuga Labs. Mutant Ape Yacht Club is Yuga Labs. Art Blocks, that's a fine art project. Total fine art collection. Totally different division of the NFT space. Azuki is number 6. That's kind of crazy. So we can circle back to that. CloneX, that makes sense.
Thank you.
Moonbirds, fucking Moonbirds really doing
Kevin
well.
Rose.
Kevin Rose. Then you got Decentraland and Sandbox. So you have competing metaverse entities. So in the top 10 here, you got Other
Deed. It's
Deed.
insane how old Other Decentraland Sandbox is, and Other Deed
Flipped them.
since May has 2x the lifetime volume.
Insane. Then you get to Meebits, also owned by Bored Ape Yacht Club. And then here's Cool Cats, and then Kennel Club. And then number 15 is just the entire Rareable collection.
It's the Borg. It's like what Nick said. It's the Borg.
Yeah, the reason I bring you this up, so this is the top 15 grossing collections of all time. Half of them are literally owned by Yuga Labs. Kennel Club, Mutants, Yacht Club, Other Deed. That's 4. So, excuse me, like, a quarter of them. Oh, and Meebits and CryptoPunks. So 6. So almost half of them are owned by Bored Ape Yacht Club. If you look at this list, there's still a stink on Azuki in some ways. And I don't think that people view it with the same caliber of legitimacy as Moonbirds, Doodles, Cool Cats. That would be ridiculous to say that, in my opinion, that it's as legit as Doodles, Moonbirds, and Cool Cats. So if you don't get and then A16Z is already in on Moonbirds. He's building High Rise, right? So that's his own thing. Doodles was probably on the table. But I don't think A16Z is invested in Doodles. That's Alexis Ohanian's bag. So yeah, Cool Cats is there as some of the best IP that you can scoop up when you already have 10KTF, you have CryptoPunks, you have Meebits, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, this is the playing field right here. Is this top 15 projects?
Yeah.
Plus 10KTF, who's not even in this top 15. They already have that in the bag for Metaverse wearables. So they don't need CloneX. CloneX is owned by Nike. They have 10KTF for Metaverse wearables and Story for that matter. So 10KTF kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So just cross CloneX off. Decentraland and Sandbox are direct competitors. Cross them off. You got Doodles, Cool Cats, Azuki, and Moonbirds to choose from here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's definitely strategically, it makes a ton of sense. How it all works out, I think, is like a lot more of like a question mark for me. I mean, if you look at like traditional gaming and metaverses, like the only one that's really successfully pulled off what we're talking about here is Roblox. Mm-hmm. And like Roblox is like very much like centralized. I mean, they're decentralized in terms of like the games and everything like that. But like, it's geared towards like young kids. The developers are all like average, like 20 years old and stuff like that. But like, they're the only ones that have like pulled it off. Minecraft has had like an avid like modding community, but it hasn't been like, other people are making a shit ton of money off of Minecraft, right? Like Roblox is the only one to like really, really do it. Because I think with like the tricky thing with like a lot of games is that like if your game idea is that good and your game studio is that good, like you don't want to like you don't want to kind of like mix your stuff in with other stuff necessarily that could be like better or worse than yours. I think the interesting thing with Other Deeds, NFTs, and profile pics is it's more of a social thing than a gaming thing, right? And I think that's what Roblox is too. And that's where I definitely agree with you, Pio. Like if they can pull off the tech, if they can make the network effects really, really strong, then it could be a banger.
What do you think, Nick?
I mean, dude, it's so.
I know it's hard.
Well, I mean, I kind of articulated my thesis. I think we're still in the same place, which is we have a bunch of capital that's in here. It's all in development at this point in time. We'll see where it plays out. Like we're just starting, so we got to wait and see what these people end up building. What I think is happening is what you're watching is this is the phase of the market where bets are being made, chips are being placed. And you can watch that, and that's what you can comment on, is saying, well, a large number of investors believe that XYZ is the future. In this case, it sounds like the metaverse is something that people want to invest in. What has not played out or manifested so far, if you ask Mark Zuckerberg saying, hey, it's like 5, 10, 15 years away, which is like...
I think that's fair.
So it's a bold place to be betting, though. They have their own issues, which is he's taking all of the money that they're making on advertising as Facebook itself is becoming less relevant. Like they're running into issues with ad revenue growth. I think that he's making this bet far downfield, and you can't fault him for being one of the most ambitious sort of strategic investors on a corporate basis. But what's also interesting about this is if you're an investor and you're looking at this, there's many ways to be very cynical of what this is. You're like, oh, look, this is going to sound sexist, but boys and their toys, like it is kind of like the way that I'd end up looking at some of this as being like, great. So we got rich billionaires. We have like serious issues that the world is facing. And the solution that all of our, that investors are putting their capital toward.
Hunger in the metaverse. There's no hunger. Avatars don't have to eat. You solve world hunger.
Yeah. We could get digital clothing for people in the metaverse.
Here's the thing, but like it got me kind of thinking, right? Is because when we talk about all of this stuff, we're kind of encapsulating ourselves in the NFT community, right? And it's like Cool Cats, massive brand in the NFT community. Outside the NFT community, if you went out into New York streets and you asked people if they know what a cool cat is, probably 99 out of 100 don't know what a cool cat is. Mm-hmm. And that's the success route, right? Like Other Deeds isn't successful if it's just like the NFT core community of like 2,000 people. It has to get like millions of players into it. And that's going to be the real test that will happen probably 2 years from now, 3 years from now. But, you know, look at that little cute little coda right there. Oh, I'm going to buy that for 200 grand. Look at that, man. All the mushrooms, I'm going to sell them as synthetic drugs in the metaverse. I'm going to be so fucking rich, man. You come to me for the mushrooms, man. 200K, that's a steal, baby.
Nick, any closing thoughts on what you were saying? You're talking about Facebook and this bet. I'd love to.
How much is this one?
This one's got a standing offer of 160 grand, not for sale. High last sale.
Biggest miss. Biggest miss of this year for me, dude, was when we were talking about it on the Twitter Spaces, where the rumors were coming out that like the last 100 codas were the mega codas, and they were all the mega codas, and like 926 was sitting there for like 25 or 28 ETH, and I watched it for like 30 minutes. I went to transfer the money. It was sold. Even with the market crash, you're still up on that buy by probably like 2x.
How did that information get leaked? That's almost like an investigation situation.
Yeah, no, people were just like looking at that mega codas, and they were like looking at the IDs, and like all these IDs seem to be like, you know, 9,900 and up or whatever.
And they looked way different. They looked crazy.
Yeah.
That first night we found out about it because Spotty got a mega coda on the show.
Exactly. And he said the ID, on the show. And then someone on the show was like, yeah, the rumor is anything like 9,900 and up is a coda. So I just missed out on 100K. It's all good though.
Yeah, Nick, I want to just hear your last thoughts about all that, like Zuckerberg, his bet, because I think that's really, really, key information here, or key perspective, I should say.
I mean, it's basically right now you're just watching where all the investments are being made. And this whole space is, at this moment in time, the vast majority of where the capital is going right now is towards intellectual property and gaming within the NFT space. How many, like, what sort of investments have been made around like supply chain management or something like that? We talk about like physical assets and NFT counterparts to it. We don't see a ton of money going down that path. We do see some money going towards marketplaces, which is which we've seen, but most of those are towards the marketplaces where a lot of this IP-based content is trading. I just think we're so damn early in this process, in the sense that, like, imagine it like, so you got a couple $2 billion that are floating around right now, and that's all being allocated towards businesses that have essentially, when we think about the amount, or like structurally what they're focused on, it's kind of like funding a Netflix or something like that, basically. But what are we producing? Like, we haven't seen the actual output of what's being produced, other than basic NFTs, of which the cost is essentially zero. Like, right?
You don't
like,
want to actually see the actual output, because then these things will get priced to reality, and we're all going to get really broke really quick. That's the truth, man. That's the dirty truth. It's like, you want things that are so far away. It's like that joke, right? Didn't like in all of the 2010 decade, like companies didn't want to generate actual revenue for the longest time, because as soon as they generated revenue, then they got valued on the growth
on that revenue
of the revenue. It's kind of the same thing with like NFTs, is like as soon as like the other deeds actually exist and you have an actual player count and you can look at actual player growth, then all of this shit gets priced to reality. But once again, I've done the math. If other deeds becomes a $5 billion win, so like Fortnite level, right? If other deeds can become like a Fortnite level success, and land captures 10% of that value, then land is like 3x up from here.
It's easy as that.
Easy as that. That's how we get our 2-bagger. A lot easier ways to get 2-baggers in the NFT space. You don't have to wait years. You can wait minutes. You can just mint something and sell it for 2x in minutes. This is going to be a long haul for 3x.
Or I feel like you could like go buy stock. Like there's
appreciate faster than that.
There's like actual stock that. What was interesting is actually if you track Ethereum and S&P 500. They correlate very heavily, or the NASDAQ is a better corollary, although the NASDAQ correlates to S&P. It's really interesting. Basically, crypto is just high beta. Like, I mean, it's just super.
It's like options trading, pretty much.
Yeah, it's just you have a high correlation, but it's on so we're just trading volatile assets. And then NFTs, I'd be interested to see like an index of NFTs correlated to crypto, and it's probably like high beta on top of high beta. So like you're just
Spencer was saying on the call. Exactly. He was like, yeah, it's like a higher beta play on like low crypto volatility. So like when crypto doesn't have the high beta, the NFTs get like the extra juicy beta. Someone, Maz M said in the chat, we're at least 4 or 5 years away from playing a decent fun Web3 game. I would say not for a decent fun Web3 game, for like actually like bang, and like your friends are wanting to play it, that hated NFTs are wanting to play it. We could very likely be like that far away, because games take 2 or 3 years to build. If you think about it, we just basically went through the Axie Infinity cycle, right? Play to earn, breeding, all those types of mechanics, right? Now we've learned our lessons from that, right? So anyone learning their lessons and building a game is going to fix that a year to 2 years from now, right? And then we'll have our learning lessons from there, and it'll take 2 years to like really probably get the model cooking. So yeah, it's gonna take some time, but I do think there's gonna be a lot of cool NFT games to play in the next like 2 years. But
it makes one wonder, like what are we doing in the interim? Like what are we like?
Oh, Nick, just come to my other deeds land. I'll sell you some of my crystals. I have blue crystals, purple, yellow, and ruby red. And I got to sell them to you for $1,000 a pop, because this land wasn't cheap, my man. I paid $200K for it. Got to get my money back.
It just seems like, yeah, we're going to have to figure out a number of things associated with.
I love the art on this, though, man. They killed it on the art. They
really killed it. This is basically the concept artwork. It's like, instead of a sketch, it's like finished concept artwork that will then be transformed into a 3D world that I think is going to look pretty cool. I'm another deed bull. Whether or not prices right now are still really inflated to a degree that's unrealistic, who knows? At least for stuff like this, where like you're talking about, you can evaluate like a player count on the fine art side, man. A Fidenza might be cheap at $100K.
I think it is.
It probably is.
UL is going to pay for some college tuition. That's what I think.
Just saying.
I was feeling a little like, like, did I fuck up? I was like kind of feeling a little doubts and stuff like that. And then on Twitter, I saw Toby, the CEO, founder of Shopify, had like he posted a picture of Fidenza in his living room. I'm like, okay, my thesis is okay here. I'm good. I'm holding.
I responded to his tweet and I said, hey, great Fidenza should have gotten a way bigger print. Like it should be humongous.
Yeah, dude, you're rich, bro. That shit, wallpaper that shit.
Literally get that thing, spend $1,500 on that frame.
It's a bear market, though.
Throw some G's on that bitch.
He doesn't want to ball out too hard.
Why is that so funny?
Well, what song is that from?
Just got a Cadillac. Throw some G's on that.
throw some G's on that bitch.
Trevor Leahy's a smart little guy. He said he's taken his other deeds and he just listed them on LooksRare and just makes LooksRare fees. That's a smart little way to get a little tiny APR off of your NFT sitting in your wallet collecting
I thought
dust.
that was kind of kaput. I thought that was
the
done.
money's, yeah, I'm sure LooksRare, like, what's that price at? I mean, I'm sure like but it's better than making $0. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like getting like 9% yield off your ETH or whatever. Let's see what LooksRare's at.
Just got a Cadillac.
Coins, not too bad, but yeah, it's 21 cents.
Throw some G's on that bitch.
Throw some G's on it.
Okay. And anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching.
Is it G's or D's?
It's D's. It's like, yeah. Anyway.
Do we have anything else to talk about, or we got it?
No, we covered everything. It was a great show, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, like the video, retweet, or like the video, subscribe to the channel, and
Felipe Emin asking any thoughts on Neo Tokyo. Looked a lot better when they were building a game, Metaverse, whatever. Now that it's a social community, I hope you made a lot of friends.
Anyway, remember, guys, there's only like 10 or 15 legit projects in the whole damn space. Anyway, what was I going to say?
Throw some D's on that bitch.
Okay. Anyway, share the video. See you guys.